Hi, in this video today I'm going to be talking you through the steps that I took to achieve this oil spill look with the Lunar hair dye. So this was our starting canvas. She was about a level 4 and we had quite a few red sort of tones going through her hair, so it was quite challenging to lift her up to a level 9. Probably wasn't an ideal canvas for the colours, but we still managed to create a really nice look. So here I am starting at the bottom and I'm putting my foils in vertically rather than horizontally, and this is what's going to help create that stripy kind of effect. And I am doing them rather chunky here. Afterwards I do end up doing a root fade as well, just to sort of blend those lines in so it's not too harsh. And what I'm putting on here is bleach and 30 vol. Now I'll take my hand underneath the foil and just really thoroughly apply that bleach, because we don't want to get an uneven lift. It is quite awkward putting foils in vertically. It's not something I would recommend for the first time, but once you've got the hang of foils, it's really not too hard. I'm making sure that I'm folding things and making that foil really nice and secure. Once I'm done, I'll clip him out of the way, and then I am going to leave a bit of a gap in between the foils. And now I'll just do the same thing again, and I'm basically going to work all the way over the head vertically, except when I get to my top box you will see me change. When I get to the top box I will be placing my foils horizontally. So once I get to the top section, this is where I'm going to do things a little bit differently. Instead of placing my foils vertically, I'm going now horizontal. And this first foil here, I am going to do some chunky weaves rather than a splice, which I have done the rest of the foils in splices. Just because I'm being really careful of that crown area, I don't want to have a big thick line right across her crown. So this foil is going to be a chunky weave. And then the rest of them along the top will be medium splices. Something that I did want to just mention that I forgot to actually record when I was filming this was I did end up doing a little root fade. So after I've rinsed off these foils, I've just done a quick root fade at the basin with a level 5, just to sort of blur in the lines of the foils so that she's not going to feel too stripy, and that will also help as this colour grows out with the regrowth, that it's just all going to blend in really nicely. You can kind of see it in the next photo here. If you look at the roots, they're just a little bit more muted. I will list exactly which colours I used, but here's just a photo of what I had. Pretty much everything was straight out the pot except the blue, which I did mix half and half together. So starting at the back, I've taken like a triangular section, and I'm just going to start applying with the green. It doesn't really matter what colour you start with, but I will be following the colour wheel as I work my way around the head. If you've taken a slightly bigger section, you can split it in half like I've done just here, just so that you're going to get that nice thorough application. It's really important to go back and reapply more product rather than just trying to swipe it down with your hands, because that will give you a really patchy result. So I can't stress that enough. Be really liberal with your application whenever it's with vivids. See how I take my hand underneath and use it as a board, and I just swipe from side to side to just really, really saturate that hair. I'm using my hands to just make sure I've got everything, make sure I haven't missed any patches. And then once I'm happy, I will just add a little bit of a twist in the hair, which just keeps everything nice and neat and together. Make sure you wipe your hands in between sections, or a colour like this can get very messy very quickly. I'm just going to play this in fast forward for you so that we're not sat here all day. The canvas really isn't ideal for these colours, so it's a really good test to see how the Lunar Tides is going to cover this, because you can see we haven't really quite got a level 9. I'd say we've lifted to about a level 8, and we do have a lot of a reddy kind of tinge, so really not ideal. So you can start to see now how by adding in that little bit of a twist just makes it look really nice and neat, and it keeps all the hair together in the sections. Very satisfying process picture. And this was the result after just blow drying the hair smoothly. And this is what it looked like in the outdoor lighting once I had curled it. So really happy with those results considering the non-ideal canvas we had to work. The only colours that didn't really show up were the blue and the purple, but that's kind of understandable because we were working with a lot of orange. So all in all, I would say very happy and impressed with how those colours covered. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that has been helpful. Bye.